The hardest funerals are the ones that you never get to attend. Welcome to the Pain Project. This isn't where answers live, it's where the questions echo. And today's episode is about a different kind of death, the one that no one will ever prepare you for. You know, the death where there is no obituary, there is no coffin, there is no closure. All you feel is absence. In the shape of someone who used to be everything to you. So this episode is for the ones grieving those who are still breathing. The ex who's still walking the earth with your memories in their pocket. The parent who left without ever leaving the room. The best friend who became a stranger with your secrets. The child who grew up and grew away. And the craziest part is you're still holding conversations with them in your mind because reality cannot accept the silence and the loss. There are losses that do not make headlines. There's no wake, no sympathy cards, just the quiet ache of an unfinished goodbye. You don't get to bury them. They bury themselves in all of the spaces that you used to share together. And maybe this will resonate with you. You stop texting, but your heart doesn't stop hoping. You stop calling, but you never stop checking if they called. And when they don't, your body begins to grieve them all over again. Every memory becomes another landmine, and your brain keeps walking through yesterday barefoot. You know, doctors call this, when you lose a limb, they call it phantom limb syndrome, when the body aches for something that is no longer there. People do that too. You keep showing up emotionally to places where they no longer live. You keep offering your loyalty to ghosts, and it doesn't matter that they're alive. Because when the bond dies first, the body just becomes a shadow that's walking without meaning, and yet you still rehearse what you'd say if they ever asked you how you're doing. But they don't. They won't. Here's the part nobody will tell you. Sometimes the people that you miss the most never even saw you. They never really saw you. Sometimes the ones that you would die for and give your life for never once tried to live up to what they meant to you. And the scariest part is that you weren't grieving what was. You were grieving what never got to be. You were holding space in your heart for a version of them that only existed in your imagination. But here's where it turns around. Here's what I want you to know. The unexpected grief isn't theirs, it's yours. You didn't just lose them, you lost a part of yourself that was waiting for them. You grieved this reunion that would never happen. You grieved the apology that you never received. You grieved the conversation that never came around. You grieved the closure that you never got. You grieved your own capacity to keep on hoping. They left, but the version of you that believed in them, that's what you're really mourning. And sometimes the real funeral is for the version of you that waited too long. It's time. Not to hate, not to forget, but to release them. You holding on doesn't honor love, it just delays the healing that you desperately need. The hardest part about grief is that no one ever tells you when the funeral is over. But here's the secret. You get to decide when it is. You get to stop looking back. You get to build a future where their silence no longer speaks louder than your joy. Let me say that again. You get to build a future where their silence no longer speaks louder than your joy. If this episode dug up something buried, that's okay. You're allowed to mourn people who never apologized. You're allowed to hurt over connections that did not deserve your loyalty. I want you to text this to the person still stuck in yesterday, or just keep it for yourself. Use it as a mirror, or better yet, a roadmap. Because this is the Pain Project. And we're not here to rescue the past. We're not here to change all these things that have happened. We're here to reclaim the pieces of ourselves we left there.